What is up, everybody? The Green Thumb here. Uh, so today I wanted to talk about plants that throw a little bit of a fuss when you bring them in for the winter. Of course, it's getting around that time here in Indiana. Uh, we have to start bringing our plants in before October because sometimes it can get really cold to where there's a chance of frost, and some plants are a little bit more fragile than others. So, of course, I got the majority of my main tropicals in, besides that guy right there and some ferns. Uh, but, anyways, when it gets around to the time of the year that people have to start bringing in their plants, well, they have problems with the particular species of crotons. Just crotons in general. They say once they bring them in that they have problems where they'll lose a lot of leaves or the majority of the leaves. Really, I don't have problems with crotons like that at all. I don't really have a problem with them because I use a simple little trick for my crotons. And I might lose one to two to maybe three leaves, barely even noticeable. But what I'll do for my crotons, as soon as it gets dark, and I even do the same for my ficus. As soon as it gets dark, I bring them in when they're in resting mode. When they're resting, for me, that's a cheat. That's an instant way to get them in without dropping any leaves. I do this quite often with my crotons. Um, if you guys don't believe me on my weeping figs, and just my figs in general, because, every time you bring them in, you're going to lose leaves, well, let me show you my croton upstairs. I mean, not my croton, my fig upstairs. Sorry about that. I'll show you that I haven't lost one leaf this year. So we'll go up there and check that out now. So I'll go ahead and show you one example right here. This is one of my rock ficus bonsais. I brought him in during the night and not a single leaf was lost. In fact, he's still branching out where I want him to. And I put him in a window that receives direct sun. Not a single leaf lost. Now we'll go to my weeping fig. So we are up here now. Sorry about the window, but we are up here now with my weeping fig. Now, no leaf has been lost. My weeping fig actually still looks as full as it did when it was outside. There is no leaf droppage down in the bottom because usually when the leaves do drop, I like to keep a little bit of that wild side and throw them in the pot. But as you can see, my weeping fig here has not lost any leaves, and it has adjusted just fine, especially being up against a window. And as you can see, it's still growing. It's still growing lush and green and still looking quite beautiful. So, this is my weeping fig, and of course, I brought this guy in during night. And since I brought him in during the night, he did not really put up a fuss whatsoever. And I have no leaf droppage. He's perfectly fine. So, this is just an idea and kind of like a little hack of how you can bring your plants inside without them losing leaves, especially some more of the fussy ones like your ficus trees, your crotons, plants like that that tend to be way more fussy. You know, that's a little hack I've been using, a little thing I've learned on how to get your plants inside and without them really throwing much of a fuss. And then they get adjusted to the new lifestyle and they bring out their indoor leaves, which will shed when you bring them outside, or they'll either adjust and scorch a little or be perfectly fine. So, yeah, that's something I do with the majority of my plants to kind of get them in at the last moment because if not, the October frost will set in, and I'd say the October frost sets in. Most people I've talked to said they can keep their plants out until the start of October. We can't. Frost tends to set in before October. But, yeah, this is just a little thing I thought I would teach some of you guys. Is, yeah, you can bring your plants in with no fuss. All you got to do is do one simple little thing, and that is to bring them in during the night when they are resting. And then when the sun comes up, I think when the sun comes up, they think, oh, well, this is, it's already winter. This is how it's going to be, so my leaves will stay and I won't shed any. Now, that's not saying that they might not shed over time. I've had them over time in the winter where I've lost maybe one or two leaves on the ficus and none on the croton. And sometimes it's been the complete opposite. But other than that, whenever I bring them in, I do not lose leaves. So I avoid the mess, really. And I've been doing that with this guy this year, so I'm surprised. And I've done it with my crotons ever since I've had a croton. So, just a little life hack there for some of you people who say that you have to bring them in and bring them back out and let them adjust to your indoor habitat. I mean, long as you keep them misted and let them adjust to that new lighting of the indoor lighting, they're going to be perfectly fine. This guy is perfectly fine, and he's a very, very happy ficus, even more happy than when I first put him outside. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say here today on this particular video. Is a little life hack basically on how to bring your more fussier plants in for winter. And I hope this video was useful. Like I said, this has always worked for me. And may I remind you, this during the winter time as well, before I get off of here, I don't get much light, particularly during the winter time or when it starts getting more cold, or the light really just starts to change. So like during the summertime in the afternoon, I'll get like lots of light coming in through this window and all that. Well, during the winter, it's quite the opposite. So I only get morning light till 11 o'clock, I would say, and then after that, no light at all. I mean, you still get bright light, but it's not as bright as it would be during the winter. And this guy still keeps kicking to me. He just keeps adjusting. I've never had this guy fuss. Now, that's not to say it would be different, say, if I had a variegated one or something like that, because if it was variegated, okay, it might put up a little bit more fuss because there's no chlorophyll on the edge of the leaves then, and it's all in the middle, and yeah, you might need brighter light to sustain it. But other than that, for me, the normal green ones have just been kicking for me. They just loved life. Same with this guy. I actually had to do a little bit of an operation. Last time he was around, he had 4 big trunks, but I'm waiting for this guy to get taller than me, and I'm gonna snip the tip off and let him branch out like a kind of like a tree you'd see out here out in the window. But other than that, yeah, that's really all I got to say. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you found it educational. And honestly, I hope this video really helps you guys on more of your fussier trees and your fussier plants like crotons. That is it, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Of course, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. It helps my channel out. Share my videos if you have somebody who struggles with something like this, or even a croton, and they can't seem to bring them in for winter because every time they do, they just completely defoliate or something. So, yeah, it's I hope this helps you guys to prepare for winter. Uh, Again, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.